Hello friends, so we have completed the study of all the shlokas of the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So in today's video, I will be providing to you the summary of the teachings of this chapter. Now this chapter of Bhagavad Gita is the longest chapter. It has 78 shlokas, so it's quite long, and so it will not be possible for me to really give details of all the shlokas in this video because that will take a lot of time. So we will basically just go over the whole teachings, and if you want to revise the details of these teachings, then you should refer back to individual videos on each of the shloks, because it's pretty complicated. So this chapter actually starts off by Arjun putting up a question in front of Shri Krishna, wherein he asks Shri Krishna to describe the difference between sannyas and tyag. So there's a lot of confusion between sannyas and tyag, and often people think that sannyas and tyag are the same thing, but they are actually not. And Shri Krishna described to Arjun that sannyas basically means renunciation of action, wherein a person stops to perform an action, while tyag means renunciation of the fruit of action. So there is a very subtle difference between these two. One is the renunciation of action, while the other one is the renunciation of the fruit of action. And what Sri Krishna tell Arjun is that while renunciation is good, but you should not renounce those actions which come to you as prescribed duty. And this is because this prescribed duty is what helps a person to purify his mind. So even the wise people, they do not give up the prescribed duties. They perform their prescribed duties because they are the tools by which a person is able to purify himself. And so if one decides not to perform those actions, then the person will not be able to purify himself. So this is very important. Most of the time people think that renunciation means renunciation from everything, but that is not the case. Sri Krishna then described to Arjun in detail about different factors which influence the action, wherein basically how do you define action, what are the factors which impel actions, what are the factors which are engaged in action. So there are a lot of details on that which we'll skip over here. And Sri Krishna then described the influence of the three modes of nature on these factors and how an action is described. Basically, if you want to just summarize it basically points down to the factor that it's very difficult for one to really evaluate the action of others just by superficially looking at an action. There are many other deep things which are engaged in terms of the appropriateness of an action and what is right action and wrong action. So basically Shri Krishna says that it's very difficult for you to really evaluate an action in that sense. And then subsequently what Shri Krishna does is he provides him an easy way out of this whole mesh of the right action and wrong action, wherein Shri Krishna first of all tells Arjun that when a person thinks that he is the doer and he is the enjoyer, then that person is not really looking at things in a right way. He is not actually understanding things. The wise realize that he himself is neither the doer and nor the enjoyer of his actions. When a person realizes this, that he is neither the doer nor the enjoyer of his actions, then that person is seeing the things correctly. And after this, Shri Krishna in detail describe Arjuna about knowledge, action and the doer. And he tells about the three modes of nature, how they influence this knowledge, action and doer. And further he then describes the influence of these three on intellect, will and happiness also. So this is quite a bit of detail that has been provided over here, which I'm just skipping over here. If you want to, you can refer to them in the individual shlokas. But basically the point that Sri Krishna puts forth is that all beings over here, they are under the influence of nature, and so they are bound to act according to their own nature. And Sri Krishna then describes to Arjun how these natures, they determine different people. So he describes the duties of four varnas, which is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, how their duties are determined by their nature. So it describes to Arjun how you are influenced by your nature, and so your actions will also be influenced by your nature. And then Shri Krishna provides the key of avoiding all this complication of how to perform an action and all. He just says that just act according to your own nature. When you act according to your own nature, then you are basically worshipping the Lord. And when you worship the Lord by acting according to your own nature, then you will come to realize Brahma. You will come to realize the power of the Lord, the all-pervading Maya, which is impelling all the actions over here. You will come to know of that when you will be consistent with your own nature. And then Shri Krishna says that once you realize that, then you will realize me also. You will basically come to realize me by itself. There are two ways of knowing something. There's the intellectual way of knowing, and then there's the intuitive way of knowing Shri Krishna. And he says that by acting by your own nature and knowing Brahma, you will come to know me intuitively. The word is tattvavat, basically. You will come to know intuitively me, and once you will come to know about me, then you will develop love for me inherently, and with that love, you will basically then become Brahma realized. You will become enlightened. And then Shri Krishna gives in detail about how the people who are enlightened, they behave. So basically what he is saying is that you will come to know about me by being consistent with your nature, by acting in accordance with your nature. And when you will do that, then basically you will start to see me in all beings. You will realize that the Lord is situated in the heart of all beings, and he is using all of the beings as an instrument to carry out all of these actions over here. And with that realization, you will come directly to me. You will become situated in me. So he basically says that you should realize that I am situated in all beings, and I am the one who is making all beings perform their actions. So instead of satisfying that individual person, see me behind them and then take refuge in me. Try to appease me, try to worship me. And by doing that, I will make your life easy. I will make you overcome all the difficulties in your life. And so just give up all the other dharmas, just worship me, take refuge in me, and I'll liberate you from all your sins. So that is the highest teaching that Sri Krishna basically has provided in this chapter. And once one realizes this thing, that at the end of the day, the one who matters is Sri Krishna alone. Nobody else basically matters to us. And so our actions should be in accordance with that. So when that one person realizes, then he will be able to go beyond the dualities of this world and attain Sri Krishna himself. After that, there is just more detailed description in terms of Sri Krishna saying that don't give this knowledge to those people who hate me or who do not have reverence for me. Only give this knowledge to those who want to listen to this with reverence. And then after that, he says that those who will listen to this knowledge, or who will study this knowledge, or who will provide this knowledge, will eventually come to me. I ensure that. And so it's a good thing for everybody to listen to this knowledge. And finally, this chapter ends by Sanjay describing to Arjun, describing to Dhritarashtra that you should listen to this knowledge again and again and again, and you should also remember the form of the Lord again and again and again. And by doing that, you will become more and more excited about this. And wherever there is Sri Krishna and wherever there is Arjun, which means wherever there is the individual soul and who is becoming in union with the universal soul, there is opulence, there is victory, and things like that. So that was basically the entire teachings of this chapter. And I hope that I have described this chapter well to you. After this, I'm going to be providing you a quiz in relation to this chapter in the next video. And after that, we'll come to the conclusion of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So with that, I'll close this video. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.